just like a GoPro. Think I might GoPro. Bro, you moving too slow. Think I might say so. Now I'm fast like Stuart McSwain. Moving real fast, you think I'm insane. 240 on the spot, 1K on the dot. Now they're begging me to stop. No, taking just like a GoPro. Think I might GoPro. Bro, you moving too slow. Think I might say so. Now I'm fast like Stuart McSwain. Moving real fast, you think I'm insane. 240 on the spot, 1K on the dot. Now they're begging me to stop.
What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. This week's video is a bit of a different one. It's a sit down video and I'm going to be talking about my 2020 running year. Obviously 2020 threw a bit of a spanner into the works. No one was expecting it, and overall we all probably learnt something about ourselves from the COVID period, and also in Australia from the bushfires that we had here early on in the year. So with that guys, I guess we'll start in January. So come January, my PBs were, I'd run a 2:12 800 meters, I'd run a 4:17 1500 meters, a 9:03 3k, and a 15:12 5k. So January is a pretty big month for me. In late 2019, I was starting to fall out of love with running for a bit, just because I wasn't racing well and I wasn't training well. Even though I knew after a while that I was iron deficient, so I guess that could explain why. But anyway, in 2020 I was looking for a new start. I loved my old training squad, but I knew it was time to try something different and try and get back some of this love for the sport that I had previously. So I joined the Burt squad, which is a very high mileage marathon kind of specific squad. With many experienced runners such as Kieran Perkins, Peter Bracken, and people like that who have this vast experiences over many disciplines. So it was a no-brainer to go and join them and train with them. And I'm still loving it to this day, and I'm still learning more and more. But anyway, January is a pretty good month for me. We're still racing as usual. Obviously, COVID wasn't in its full effect as of yet. So I ran a 1 second PB in the 1500 meters, running 4:16, and it was a 2-day meet, and the day after I ran a 9:15 3k, which was a solid start to my 2020 running year. Then we came to February. February wasn't a very solid month for me. I started off the month by running a 16-minute 5,000 meters at Sheldon's track, which was pretty new at the time, and I experienced a massive blow up. And it was my first bad race in a little while, but I tried to rebound for 3,000 meter championships, the Queensland ones, and yeah, I didn't run very well. I had one of my most shocking races ever. I ran about 9:20. I can't even remember what time I ran. It was very slow though, especially because I could pretty much hold that pace for a 5k at the time. And yeah, I came like 10th in the state, which was quite a shock to the system. So February wasn't the greatest month for me. I did lose a lot of confidence, and I was desperately trying to get fit for nationals in late March. At the time, we didn't know it was going to cancel, but I was very focused on hitting the 3k and the 1500 meter targets to qualify and be at nationals again for the second time. So in March, obviously everything kind of hit the fan a little bit. But we still had a bit of a track season early March. So in early March we had our state track and field in Queensland. I only ran the 1500 meters. There wasn't a 3k. There was a steeplechase and an 800, but I didn't do those. I purely focused on the 1500 meters. I ended up finishing 7th, and I progressed through my heat and all that, and I finished 7th in the state in a time of 4:19. But the first lap was a 72, which is 3-minute pace or 4:55 mile pace, and we ended up finishing in, a 4:35, 4:30 mile or 4:19 1500 meters. So it was a really big kick down, and I just didn't have the leg turnover, but still I actually was pretty happy with that result and knew that the PB was there. I just needed that quicker first lap, which wasn't my fault, but it was a state final, so it was going to be a bit tactical. I then ran the last ever park run for 7 months. I ran Sandgate Park Run in 1540 after finding out the night before that my nationals, or the Australian National Championships, had been cancelled for 2020. By the end of March, nationals had already been cancelled obviously, and I was supposed to be running the 3,000 meters at those championships. So I took it on myself to do a 3K time trial, but I had a bit of a dilemma because the tracks had been closed. So I went to Loader Raceway, which would become very famous over the next few months, and I decided to do a 3K time trial. I ended up running a time of 8:53, one of my best results I've had to this date, and all my confidence was back, and I knew I was gonna get super fit over this COVID period and not waste the opportunity to knuckle down and put some COVID lockdown miles into the legs. In April, I started online schooling, which meant I had more time to run. So in that month, I actually ran 4 of them, obviously the 4 weeks in the month, over 130k a week, with 1 week at 140k. I also did a 5k time trial in 15:33, which wasn't too bad, especially because a few months beforehand I ran a 15:40, but I definitely was not settled with that, and I still was knuckling down training and getting the miles in during the lockdown period. In May, there was way more lockdown miles, and I also did another 5k time trial in 15:29, which is a few seconds improvement from the month before. Also, some restrictions had loosened, which meant we could train together again. We had one of the best ever COVID training squads. We had myself, Adam, the Fog Dog exclusive Fog Dog, we had Kieran Perkins, Peter Bracken, and Luke Bike McCutcheon, all training together every Tuesday, and it was just an awesome setup. And we met every Tuesday at New Farm Park, and you know, we got takeaway breakfast afterwards, supporting local businesses, and it was just an awesome time. Even though many people were losing their jobs and stuff like that, it was really good to still catch up with them and grind a good session out with them. In June, Queensland had done a fantastic job of controlling the spread of coronavirus. So it actually looks like we're going to get a bit of a cross-country season, which got me super excited because I had done 10 to 12 weeks of good mileage and good sessions, and I still was staying pretty sharp by doing some of these time trials. But unfortunately, I started going back to school, obviously, and we had school football on, and obviously I hadn't been turning and stuff because I no longer play football for club or anything, and I got some adductor tendonitis, which kept me out for about 2 weeks. I could still jog on it, but it meant no sessions and reduced mileage, which really hindered my fitness, obviously. And going into July, I had a few weeks to get fit before the cross-country season, but I was still confident that all the miles I'd done during lockdown were going to come back and help me as I strive to retain my Queensland cross-country title. As I just said, July was a rebuilding month. I was rebuilding my mileage and my sessions and getting my long runs in. And they also announced that there was going to be some races early August and late August, with state cross country being on the 5th of September, which would be the target to try and retain my state cross country title. During that month, I also did 2 time trials. I did a 3k time trial on the track in 9:03, which was back to my best. And I also did a 5k time trial in 15:25, which would end up being my year's best 5k. And that gave me a lot of confidence coming into this this mini cross-country season QA was going to be putting on. August was a super exciting month for runners. Racing was back, cross-country racing was back. I have a sweet spot for cross-country. I just think it adds another aspect to a race, which the track doesn't have. Anyway, early August, I had my first race back in almost 5 months. I did a 5k hilly cross-country race in Upper Kedron at the Brisbane Cross Country Series. The field wasn't extremely deep, but I still ended up to win the race in 16:40 for the 5 kilometer distance, but it was a super hilly course, 125 meters of elevation gain over the 5 kilometer distance, and it's actually my most viewed video on YouTube, so thank you guys for that. And I was super excited to be back racing, super grateful, and you know, that was what happens when you know, we had a strict lockdown period and now everyone's getting back into normality. Also that month I had my TAS cross country race, which is like my school race. I ended up winning that as well in 16:02 in a slightly less hilly course. I ended up beating Tim Fisk who's a sub 15 5K runner, and he was soon to be my teammate, which I train with almost on a daily basis. But finally, I had the all schools cross country meet, which is a very, very big meet. It usually serves as the pre-states, and there usually is medals and national spots available, but this year was a bit different. But still, it's a super important race, and it was late August, so it was a week before state cross country. What had happened is on the Saturday morning the week before, when the race was supposed to be, they ended up cancelling it because of a COVID strain that had been going around, but they didn't actually have to because they had a COVID safe plan. That really ticked me off, especially because I tapered for it and I missed a workout or something on that day. But doesn't matter. The week after, I did the race. I came third in about 19:15 for the 6 kilometer distance. I got beat by some of the guys I was going to be racing next week, so it wasn't the best confidence booster, but it definitely made me angry before my biggest race of the year so far. September is my birthday, so I was excited about that. I can finally drive, but more importantly, state cross country. I get super excited when I talk about it because I ended up winning the race. I ended up running time of 18:50, but the course was very short. But my average gap pace or grade adjusted pace was 3:06, so I was super excited about this. I ended up winning pretty convincingly, kicking away in the last 700 meters, and I ended up retaining my state cross country gold medal, which I was super excited about. And it still gives me a lot of confidence that this is what hard work and all the miles are for. And I was very happy with myself and my performance and my coach and my squad and everyone who was supporting me. And obviously it did very well on YouTube as well, which is always makes me happy. The day after that though, I decided to do the 5K at the Gold Coast Running Festival, the first road race back post the COVID-19 lockdown. I ended up running 15:45 and on a pretty hilly course as well, which wasn't great for my legs, who were already pretty stuffed after the day before. But I was pretty happy with that, and I was glad to be there and witness some great performances from my teammates like Kieran Perkins, who ran a 65:20 half marathon on a pretty average course. To end the month, I started my track season. So my first race of the season was at 1500 meters in the B heat. I ended up winning by 2 seconds and 4:17. I also had my TAS track, which I was the captain of, which I was very grateful to be the captain of. Ended up running 4:13 in the 1500 and 2:08 in the 800, so 2 PBs there. And I also ran a 2:40 1K time trial celebrating 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've almost hit 2K, and I'll do a 2K time trial for 2K subscribers, so make sure you guys subscribe. And it was just a great September. I also ended the month by running a 4:11 1500 meters, which was a massive PB, and I'm super happy to almost break the 4:10 barrier, and it gave me a goal over the next few months in my track season to try and get under 4:10. October, another big road race was back, jetty to jetty. I ended up doing the 5K. I came second in 15:40. I was pretty disappointed about this race, especially because I've been training really hard. But as you often find in Australia, and particularly Queensland, once you get to October, everything just gets super hot and everything gets super humid, and running becomes a lot less enjoyable, if I've got to be honest, and a bit more of a grind. So obviously a 15:40 in heat and humidity may be worth more time, but it's hard to say. Anyway, after that I had a few more races. The most important event during track season was the all schools competition. As I explained, it's usually like a pre-states held, especially because we didn't have a school track season this year. QA wanted to put something else on for us with medals on the line and a merit team position being on the line. I ended up running the 3K and the 1500. In the 3K I came 4th and ran 8:59.97, so just slipped under the barrier for the first time officially. So I was super happy about that. The race wasn't run to the best. We went out like 2:53, I ran like a 3:07 second K or something, and then came home in 3 minutes. Definitely not the way to run it, but you know, we still got it done. and then the 1500 the next day, I ended up running 4:11 and coming 6th. But about this race, I was very happy with how I ran it because it was slowing up. We started jogging 200 meters in, and I was like, I'm just going to go here. And I took the race with a lot of confidence, and I was very happy about, putting myself out there a bit more on the track because in the past I probably haven't. I also ran an 800 meter time trial in 2:04, which was very, very impressive for me, as I definitely do not have the natural speed on myself, but this is just showing me, all the time that, with training and being consistent on the track and doing your strides and stuff can actually improve your speed, or at least your speed endurance, especially because as I said, I'm not the quickest runner and I haven't got the quickest natural speed. In November, I had a bit of a mixed bag. I started the month off pretty poorly, running a 2:06 800, and I ended up blowing up quite a bit. But that's alright because we had the 1500 Classic the next week, and I ended up running pretty good. Even though I PR'd, I ran 4:09. I was expecting a little bit more, but still, it was still a PR, and I can't be upset about it. But just the way I ran it, I didn't finish super strong, but there's always the next race and stuff like that. I ended up running this Sunny Coast midweek meet as well, and I ended up running really well. I ran 8:58, which was a slight PR, but just the circumstances of it. I drove 2 hours there, and then I warmed up, and then my race, I had to wait 45 minutes for my race, so I wasn't super warmed up, and then I was only running with one other person, Hudson Josep, who ended up winning the race very convincingly. It was a very great run for him. I almost got him last 100, but he still outkicked me, so he's a very strong runner, Hudson. And we just worked together, and it was actually really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely come back to that Sunny Coast to do another race like that soon, but yeah, it was quite enjoyable given the circumstances, and I'm very happy with that PB. I also ran the Queensland Relays, which the Bird Squad dominated the distance race, which was a 3x1k. I ended up splitting a 2:39. It is up to debate. Brack Daddy reckons I ran about a 2:40, 2:41, but I am very, very certain I ran a 2:39. I dipped under, I made sure of it. But anyway, we came second on the 20, so we got another state medal, which was pretty awesome, and yeah, just shout out to the boys Cameron Tyne and Sean Litt for that one. December, we have the 5,000 meter championships. I didn't run very well at all. I ran a 16:25k. I didn't jog it in, but it was very hard. I went through 2k in about 6:05. I was on for a great time, and then I just slid through the back of the field, and I often put too much pressure on myself, and this was definitely the case with this race, and I ended up bonking pretty hard. But everyone has a race with a bonk. I'm going to talk about this more in a video coming out soon with Fog Dog and the bike. So it's definitely stay tuned for that. They'll probably be coming out this week of this video releasing. Anyway, didn't run well. It's right, scrap it. I'm back into full training now. After that, I went to Victoria, which was nice and cool. I got back to training hard, around 140k week. And with a big long run and a few great sessions, I trained with Isaac Bibley and stuff like that. But then the week after, I got sick on Christmas, so that sucked. But, at least I got a pair of Alpha Flies, so that is always great. These are the Alpha Flies I'm talking about, the Kipchoge colorway. You'll definitely see them in a few races coming up soon. Anyway, in the last week and a bit of December, I am back running, and I'm back in mileage. Mileage is what I know, mileage is what has got me to where I am, so I'm going to trust it this time. I've got nationals in 4 months, that's what I'm aiming for. I've got some lofty goals in 2021, and I'm very keen to take you guys along with me. So with that, guys, I guess I'll just tell you my totals for the year. I'll put the Strava right beside me as well. I ended up running 5,827k for the year, or about an average of 112k a week, which is pretty solid. This year, 2021, I'm hoping to get around 6,500k for the year, which is about 125k a week average, and I know I can do it if you put your mind to it. So with that, guys, thank you for listening to me. I've got a few big videos coming out soon. I'm also going to do a review of 2020 running overall, so definitely stay tuned for that, guys. And with that, that's the end of the video. Like, subscribe, share with your friends if you want, and yeah, see you guys later.